Good morning, viewers. This is Kasturi Day. Today, I'm going to again discuss the chapter Cell, the unit of life, that is according to ICSE syllabus class 9. I've started in my last video, class 9 syllabus. First, I'm started with biology. So the first chapter which I'm discussing today, in my continuing with the discussion is the cell chapter. That is the unit of life. Okay. And to continue with my videos, you have to have to subscribe my videos, okay, my channel, so that you can get the notification. And also, if you are liking the videos, press the like button, and also do share with your friends and colleagues so that they can also be benefited from these videos. And one more thing I want to tell you all, that I'll be discussing from this class, I'll be discussing some important questions which are same as the ICSE pattern. Okay, from class 9 you will get the ICSE pattern question answers. So I will discuss some questions according to the syllabus. Okay, so you have to be get tuned with me. Okay, so do stay tuned, and I'll start the chapter now. Okay, so in my last video, I was discussing about the what is a cell. Then I told you what how the microscopes has been discovered to observe the cells. Okay, first was this Leeuwenhoek, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. Then it was Robert Hooke who discovered the microscope, and later on this this ordinary compound. This is the ordinary compound microscope, and then electron microscope was discovered, where the image which we see under ordinary microscope, that can be seen in a much more magnified way. Okay, so next we came to cell theory, where there was 3 points in the cell theory. That is, the cell is the smallest unit of structure of all living things. It is also the unit of function of all living things, and all cell arises from the pre-existing cell. Then I discussed about the explanation of the cell theory, and now I'm coming to the cells in number. That means how many number of cells can be found in a body. Okay, that depends on the size of the organism. How big is the organism? According to that, the number of the cells will be there. Okay, if the organism is very big, there will be a greater number of cells than a small animal or plant which has less number of cells. Okay, so the bigger is the organism, the greater is the number of cells in its body. Then many small plants and animals are made up of just one single cell, like bacteria, yeast, amoeba. These are all single-celled animal, unicellular. Okay. Some very small plants and animals are made up of relatively fewer number of cells, just a few hundred or a few thousand cells. Those are few-celled animals like Spirogyra, Volvox, etc. Then most plants and animals in the surroundings which we see around us, including the humans, they are all made up of millions and millions of cells. They are multicellular animals and plants. Okay, like human beings, mango trees, etc. One thing it is clear from this, that if the animal or plant which is if they become big in size, that does not mean the size of the cell will increase. It will be the number of the cells that will increase. Okay, not the size of the cell. Size of the cell is almost equal for all living beings, but their this number count increases. Okay, there's a note that an average sized adult human constitutes approximately of 37.2 trillion of cells in the whole body. See how many number of cells are there present in the human being itself. Then 100 billion nerve cells are there in the brain, 4 to 6 million of erythrocytes, 7,000 leukocytes per cubic millimeter of blood are present there. See how many, can you imagine? So many number of cells are present in our own body. Okay. Next, we come to the cell size. Due to the small size of the cells, they're only seen through a microscope. Okay, they are only microscopic. Okay, you cannot see the cells through our naked eye. Smallest cells like bacteria, which is about 0.3 to 5 micrometers. Human erythrocytes about 7 micrometer. Longest cell is the nerve cell. Human nerve cell is the longest cell. Okay, because it's this axon, it's very long. That's why it is the human nerve cells, which are the longest cells. Then largest cells found in bird, that is ostrich egg, which we see. Okay, that is the largest cell. Actually, the central yellow sphere is the actual shell. Okay. The albumin, the white of the egg, and the egg shell are the extra parts which are added on the actual egg and it passes down the reproductive tract. Okay, when the bird lays an egg, when it passes through the reproductive tract, the yellow, the central yellow portion, that is the actual cell. Okay, when it passes this, when the central yellow sphere which passes through the this reproductive tract of an ostrich, then what happens? Some albumin, that is the white of the egg, on the egg shell are added to the central yellow sphere. Okay, that makes the much more bigger size of the cell. The cells are small in size due to the facts. Two facts are there why the cells are small in size. Different regions of the cell can communicate with each other rapidly for the cell to cell function, for the cell to function effectively. Okay, the cell is, as the cell is very small, so different regions of the cell can contact each other, communicate with each other parts. Okay, okay, like if the house is small, if you stay in a small house, then you can communicate with each and every person verbally by speaking to them. Okay, just a small speak out and you can communicate to them. But if you live in a big house, what will happen? You have to communicate over phone, or anybody is needed to communicate something. That, I mean, if you want to communicate to another person, you need somebody to tell that what you want to communicate, and that person will move to that the person you want to communicate, and then he will speak to them. Like that, it takes a longer time to communicate. But as the cell size is small, like that, as the cell size is small, it can communicate each and every part of the cell very effectively, so that it can function effectively. Okay, then cells have a large surface area versus volume ratio, surface area versus volume ratio for greater diffusion of surfaces in and out of the cell, like nutrients, metabolic wastes, and respiratory gases. What happens? The cells have a large surface area by volume ratio. That ratio is large. Okay, so that there it takes, so that the surface can perform diffusion of the substances in and out of the cell. What those substances? They can be nutrients, which can diffuse in and out of the cell both the way. Then metabolic waste, that is, in the nutrients get in and metabolic waste go out. Okay, and the respiratory gases also, some oxygen gases enter and carbon dioxide leave out. So in all these cases, all these things, they perform, these functions are performed only by diffusion in the cell. So it has a large surface area by volume ratio, so that these functions can go on very easily. Okay, so That is the reason, these 2 points are the reason for why the cell is small in size. Okay, I think you have understood this. Okay, next is cell shape. Different, the different functions of the cells that lead to different shapes of the cell. Okay, like it can be polygonal, it can be rectangular, it can be cuboid, it can be disc-like, it can be thread-like, branched, or even irregular shaped. So that these shapes depend on the function of the cell, what the cell does. Like human erythrocytes are circular and biconcave. Why? Because it can pass through the narrow capillaries and transport the oxygen to the different organs very easily. Okay, so while passing in the circulatory system, you have studied earlier also that when the blood, this erythrocyte passes, erythrocyte carries oxygen, So when it passes through first it moves to the aorta, and then it moves to the arteries, then arterioles, and then into the narrow capillaries. From there, the diffusion goes on. From there, the diffusion occurs. That is, they pass through these capillaries, pass through these narrow capillaries, but as they are circular and biconcave, and that's why they can pass through these narrow capillaries very easily. Okay, and transport the oxygen wherever it is needed. Okay, then another example is leukocytes. They are amoeboid in shape. Okay, that is, they have pseudopodia like the amoeba, and they can squeeze out through the capillary walls. See, leukocytes are also like that, like the erythrocytes, but they are not circular or biconcave. They have an amoeboid shape, like the shape of the amoeba with pseudopodias. And by that, they can squeeze out through the capillary walls. Okay. Then neurons. Neurons are long conducting impulses from distant parts of the body to the brain and vice versa. They are long. Okay, I told you nerve cells or the neurons, they are the longest cell. Why? Because they have to pass the impulses from one part of the body to the other part, even to the brain and the vice versa, and receive the messages from the brain to the different parts of the body. And for that reason, the axon has to be long. The nerve cells have to be long so that the impulses can pass through. Okay, one cell is long enough to pass on the impulse. Okay. Then we come to the mycocytes. Mycocytes means muscle cells. Okay. They are long and contractile so that they can pull or squeeze the parts. Okay. So according to the function of the cell, the shape of the cell occurs. Even the guard cells of the stomatal pore in the leaves are bean-shaped. Why? Because they can open and close the stomata. That's why they need a bean-shaped, and when they open, this bean-shaped form a pore. Bean-shaped cell that forms a pore. Okay. And when they close, that is totally closed. Okay. But when they open, they have to be pore-shaped, like this. Pore-shaped it becomes. Okay. See the shape of the cells. This is the blood cell, erythrocyte, red blood cell. This is the mycocytes, that is the muscle cells. This is the nerve cell with so many dendrites, and one axon is there. Okay. Any of the dendrites become long and becomes axon. Okay. Then this is the stomata. See, stomatal cell, that is the guard cells, which is having a pore. Then this is a diatom. This is paramecium. This is, you can see it's a slipper-shaped cell. Okay. Next, we come to the structure of a cell. Okay. The basic structure is same, for plant cell and animal cell. Okay, only 2-3 things are there to differentiate between a plant and animal cell. So the generalized cell consists of cell membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm for each and every cell. This is must. Then cell membrane or cell wall. Okay, cell membrane and cell wall. See, plant cells, just a second, I tell you. So the difference between animal cell and plant cell is this: the plant cell has a cell wall which the animal cell does not have. Okay, this is the cell wall, but the animal cells do not have. But other things, see, another thing, plant cells have chloroplast, but the animals do not. Plant cells have a vacuole, but animals generally do not. Okay, they have amyloplast, they do not. Animal cells do not. They have lysosomes, animal cells have lysosomes. Generally, this is not present in the plant cell. The centrosome and with the centrioles, that is present only in the animal cell, that is not present in the plant cell. The basic things which are present in both the cells are Golgi vesicles, Golgi apparatus. There's a cell membrane, then peroxisome, okay, cytoplasm, ribosomes, nucleus, nucleolus, rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondrion, and cytoskeleton. All these are present in both the cells. Okay. Next is cell membrane and cell wall. So each cell membrane is bounded by a cell membrane or plasma membrane. So each cell has a membrane around it, which is known as a cell membrane or a plasma membrane. This cell membrane is living, having fine pores through which substances they enter and leave the cells. And these cell membrane is composed of, it's made up of lipoproteins, and it is selectively permeable. That means it allows certain substances to enter and certain substances to leave the cell. Okay, all substances are not allowed to enter or leave the cell. Certain specific substances can only enter and leave the cell. That is why the cell membrane are known as semi-permeable or selectively permeable. Okay. Now, plant cells have a cell wall also. This is not present in animal cells. Cell wall is not present in animal cell. The plant cells have a cell wall which surrounds the cell membrane. And this cell wall is composed of cellulose, which is a non-living substance, whereas cell membrane was a living substance, and that was composed of lipoproteins, whereas cell wall is composed of cellulose, which is a non-living substance. Okay. It gives a shape and some rigidity to the cell. It is freely permeable. Okay, cotton, jute, cotton fibers are the cell walls of the dead cells, which we see, we have seen cotton, jute, or cotton fibers also, and these are all dead cells. These are the cell walls of their dead cells. Okay, so when I'm discussing all these, please note down, please write it down in your copy. Take a copy and pen and write down the differences between a cell membrane and cell wall. Previously, I told you about plant cells and animal cells. Okay. Next, we come to the cytoplasm. After the cell membrane, first in animal cell, first there is a cell membrane, then it's a cytoplasm. But in plant cell, first comes the cell wall, then cell membrane, and then cytoplasm. So we have come to cytoplasm now. Now, in the cytoplasm is a semi-liquid substance. Okay, it's a semi-liquid substance which occupies the most of the cell with the cell membrane. Okay, Now, under the compound microscope, if we see this cell membrane, and I mean cytoplasm under compound microscope, it appears colorless. So under compound microscope, when we see the cell cytoplasm under compound microscope, we see that it is colorless in appearance and it is partly transparent and somewhat watery. Okay. Now, almost all the chemical reactions of the body that takes place here. It is always in the state of some movement. The cytoplasm is living, so it will be in a state of movement. Okay. Now, see the difference between here the plant cell and animal cell. See the vacuole in animals, the structures, the organelles which are present in the animal cells. What are organelles? Organelles are substances which are present in the cells. Okay. These see like the vacuole, the mitochondria, the ribosomes, these are all organelles. So the vacuole is inconspicuous, very small, or it may be not found in animal cell, but plant cell, it is very prominent. Okay. Then there's a mitochondria present in both the cells, animal and plant cells. Perioxisome, that is also present in both the things. Then ribosome is also present in both the cells. Then lysosome is also present. Then smooth endoplasmic reticulum is also present in both the cells. Then rough endoplasmic reticulum was also present. Chloroplast, that is present only in the plant cell, but not in the animal cell. Okay. Then comes the nucleus, that is also present in all the cells. The nucleolus present in the nucleus, that is also present in all the cells. The Golgi apparatus is also present in all the cells, both the plant and animal cells. Okay, here one centrosome and with centrioles is not present, but it should be there in animal cells. Okay. Now we have come to cell organelles, that is organelles which are present in the cell cytoplasm. Okay, so I'll discuss in my next video this cell organelles. So till then, you revise this first and the second videos. If you have any doubt, please do write in the comment box. And one more thing, you please note down. Okay, that will give you much more accuracy in your studies. You will be able to recall what you have studied. Okay, so please note down as soon as you see the video. Okay, so you will be able to differentiate what is present in the cell and what will be the differences between animal and plant cells. Okay. And also the previous videos, that is the microscope and the cell theory. Okay, so do share with your friends and colleagues if you have if you are liking the videos. Press the like button also, and do subscribe to get the notification of my next video. Thank you for watching and have a good day.